Hey guys, December 31. It's noon. I haven't been out here too long, but I bought some yesterday trim at Home Depot to go around that back door. And I got some concrete, some high strength concrete, and some crack resistant concrete to put on that slab that's behind the wood stove. And I went ahead and bought some concrete cure. Once it's on there and we're satisfied with it, I guess we put that on there and it'll keep it from the water evaporating so much and less chance of cracking. And then this is supposed to bond. So after we've got that all on, and then Valentina wants to put a smooth finish at the end, we can paint this on there, let it dry, and that's going to help bond the next set to that. So anyway, then I also decided about the sealing the floor in the bathroom. I've decided to put that off because we are going to be tiling the wall, so why have the floor sealed at the moment and be ticky-tacky and all that. I also decided, instead of going buying wood sealer or whatever, we have a 5-gallon bucket of paint that we bought to primer the outside of the house or for whatever jobs we wanted. It was kind of a cheaper paint, and we were just going to primer with it and then paint over it, but we never ended up using it. So I'm going to just use that to paint the floor in the bathroom before I put backer board down. So that will seal that. And then I'm going to take I bought a little spray bottle, and I'm going to take this sealer here that I bought for the grout and the tile, and I'll just dilute it to whatever you're supposed to dilute it to, put it in a spray bottle, and spray the backer board. And that'll seal the backer board. Again, I don't know if you remember, I was talking about it yesterday. It's not necessary. I bought the more expensive backer board that's supposed to be waterproof and mold resistant and blah, 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 blah. $20-something a sheet. But then when you read the review, try to find out more information, it says it doesn't hurt to go ahead, especially in tub areas, to waterproof the backer board, the tile, like everything, basically. So I don't want to have, I'm building it now. Might as well try to do it right, whether that's necessary or not. I won't have regrets if it grows mold later or it leaks or whatever. We're like, hey man, I did everything that I could think of to prevent that stuff. So instead of it having leaks, and I took shortcuts or decided it didn't need it. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and unload this stuff, bring it in the house. It's very foggy out here and overcast. Up where we live is sunny. Down here is cold and had no idea. I'm not looking forward to working out here today. It's just, so cold. I will be so happy if this gets done soon and finished, and I can put the wood stove on here and run a little fire in here and be warmish. That'd be fantastic. Oh, and the other thing was, I was supposed to have insulation inspection today. I had to take care of my grandson this morning, or I got to take care of my grandson this morning, and I told them they can do the inspection. I left the house open for them, but nobody showed up. I told them I wouldn't be here, but somebody could come and look. Nobody showed up, as far as I can see. There's no reports left anywhere, so I don't know. I'll have to call the county if nobody shows up today and say, is somebody coming out or no? All right, let's unload the truck before any sprinkles come or moisture ruins the stuff I got out there. Guys, before I get started on the inside of the house doing stuff, this place out here is starting to drive me nuts. It's so muddy. I'm tracking mud. I'm trying to scrape it off here. I'm getting mud in the house. So what I'm going to do is I'll move the truck out of the way, take the tractor, and I got a shovel over here, and I can't scoop this just the way it is now. It's been kind of pushed off the side. But I'm going to fill up the bucket with some of that and come over here and just spread it all over the place. It may take a couple of buckets, I don't know. But at least soak up some of this water and mud so I'm not tracking it everywhere. time I have to pick up a shovel, reminds me how much I appreciate the tractor. It's crazy. Just, I don't know. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape because I'm working on the property all the time. I always tip this over in case it's going to sprinkle. But honestly, I'm probably not in nearly as good a shape as I think I am. Because as soon as I pick up a shovel and start tossing stuff, I'm like, oh man, this is a lot of work. So I did 3 buckets full there that I had to load manually and then somewhat spread manually. But at least now I have a little bit of the mud covered up. That makes me happy. All right, the next thing I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and do this bonding agent to this. And what it says is just put it like you were going to paint it, like you're painting normal. And then you let it dry, which it doesn't tell how long it takes to dry. I don't see it on there. But it says wait till it's dry, but then put your next batch of cement against it as soon as possible while it's still tacky. So I'm going to be here on site, so hopefully it doesn't take a long time, but hopefully it takes long enough for me to mix the batch that's going to go in there. I'm going to go ahead and sweep this out a little bit, make sure this is, it says make sure it's clean, but it's pretty clean. But yesterday when I cleaned up the place, I also tried to break this off to see how hard it is, to see if it was going to crumble on us, but it was pretty hard to take off, and that was only a day old, so I think it's going to get even harder. So I left it, and I'm just going to bond to it instead of taking it off. It's interesting looking. I don't know how much it's going to take. It says it covers a couple 100 square feet, I think, or something, so I don't want to get it too soppy. It's definitely going to take a bit. It's one of those things that's like, you don't want to put too much and you don't want to put not enough. They had a bigger bucket of this stuff, but I got a smaller one, thinking, going by the dimensions that it said. Because this is the only time I have to do this. The next batch will all be, you know, thick as this 2x3 basically. It's just this was a learning curve right here. The rest of it will be approximately 3 inches of concrete, and then we'll put this bonding stuff on it and then put a smooth layer of just the Portland cement. I mean, that's all this is. There's no concrete in it, but I guess we could have done a couple different things. We could have made sure that maybe it was possible we put too much water, or we could have stayed here for the whole thing and kept smoothing it around, so as the water content evaporated, it would be tended to. And the other thing is we could have done it when it was more consistent temperature. I don't know. There was a few things there on the list that maybe could have preserved that, but it was a learning curve, so I'm going to leave that on there, mix some concrete. Basically, I have the Portland cement, I've got some the high strength, like I just showed you guys, and I bought this crack resistant. So today, since this is just going to be on the front side of that, it's not going to be as much as the next batch would be, because the next batch will be, you know, a lot more there. I'm still going to do majority crack resistant, a little bit of high strength, but I think the crack resistance is the most important. This is not a load bearing type of thing. It's not going to have a lot of weight on it. The only weight it has on it is itself. So even the higher we go, the less it needs strength, the more it needs crack resistant, and less water content and sealing it and all this stuff. So that's why I bought the sealer. Hopefully we figure this out. It's going to be a bummer if it doesn't work out, but I don't know. Worst case scenario, it doesn't look fantastic, but we figure out something to smooth it over. All right, I'm going to mix some concrete now. Everything back together. I'm not quite sure how long I'm supposed to wait, because it said wait till it's tacky. I can touch some of it and it's tacky-ish and it just feels smooth, but then where I really kind of sopped it in these areas here toward the top, it's still wet and not tacky. So I've mixed this together. I sent Valentina a text with the video and get her second opinion of if she thinks this is a good consistency. I'm a little bit gun shy on making it too wet. It may look a little dry to you, I don't know, but I think a lot of the reason why that cracked was too much wetness and the weight of it and all that stuff. Now this does have the crack resistant, so hopefully it's not going to do that. So I'm going to wait to hear back from her. Because that's got a little bit of time probably to get a little more tacky. So I think I'm going to go and try out another idea what I had for the backer board in there for sealing it. It shows people kind of painting it on and stuff. I saw a video or two. I'm going to see if it's thin enough consistency. I haven't poured it out to see yet. And spray it on. And I think that's water-based, so I could actually dilute it a little bit if it doesn't squirt out very well. And just give it a nice coat. All right, I came in here to test this out. I can see right now I need to bring a rag in here and clean this off quickly, before it dries. But I like this because this is just backer board. This is not a huge deal to me. And this is already, like I said, the water hydro defense or something it's called. I didn't put a lot, only put a couple of inches in the bottom of this bottle. I might have to go add some more. I'm not sopping it on. It says to sop it on and then wipe it with a brush, but that's more directions for tile and grout and things like that, not backer board. And for the most part, it looks like if I don't soak it too badly, it absorbs. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just give it a light coat. I did a quick refill, just a little bit, not a lot. Another inch of fluid or so. Yeah, and I don't know if this is doing too much. You guys might be watching this and say, what a waste, he's doesn't even need to do it, or if I was going to do it, I need to do it way thicker. I don't know. This stuff right here, I'll go a little thicker on the gray stuff because it's not the Hydro Defense. Again, this is just to seal it. It's not for, and it's to seal it to prevent water infiltration. It's not for staining or all that, which is what's actually designed to do for tile and grout. And when I do that, I won't be using a spray bottle. I'll be probably using a paintbrush or something. And I feel kind of good about the fact that I'm soaking this a little bit more, soaking it pretty good. I think I need to go get one more about an inch. That way I can get a good soak on some of this. Forgot I didn't get this in part yet. Probably the least important because it's not usually going to have water on it. Alright, I only put maybe a ½ inch more of fluid in here. I guess, yeah, I'm going to shoot this bottom part a little heavier just because that's where the water hits off the shower, right? Alright, so I already took the towel once around with a different towel. Now I'm taking this one. Now this mesh stuff, you got to be careful with that goes on the seals or the seams. And I hope this stuff is okay if it dries on here. And it's not going to ruin it. It feels a little tacky, but hopefully it comes off this porcelain or whatever ceramic tub. You kind of, if it doesn't, you're like, oh, that one's doing what it's supposed to because it's supposed to seal stuff, but hopefully it comes. Anyway, some of these strings are hanging off of this, and then you touch them it just peels it right off. This one's falling down. The rest of them are okay, but those had a couple of strings coming off, and I touched them, and they got a hold of the rag, and they just start falling off. Fairly dried up and clean. Guys, I feel like this could be a disaster. It can be okay. I don't know. This is very uncharted waters, and this is probably one of those things, like I had an electrician and a plumber do their thing here instead of me trying to figure it out. Concrete works probably a little bit like that. Leave it to a mason. Valentina thought she knew what she was doing. Says she's kind of feels like she knows what to do. And we've laid sidewalks and we've done things like that in the past, and everything's turned out pretty good. But this is a new animal. This is a new beast. So the concrete seems pretty good. And I guess what I'm going to do is I have the wheelbarrow sitting here, and I'm just going to scoop and drop in there. I don't know what else to do. Can't keep waiting, and I think that stuff, it feels dry. So the stuff that's at the very top that I was talking about, it's still a little bit wetted. All right, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but one thing that's really awesome. Yeah, I could have done the math or tried to figure all this out. Spent a bunch of time trying to figure out how much cement do I make concrete. And I basically came down to the very end. There's probably a little bit if I had to scrape more. This came right to the top. Right to the top. I mean, I couldn't have done that any better. Maybe it's a good sign. I don't know. Let's hope. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something I can kind of jam down in here through the top, like a little bar or something, and maybe tap this a little bit as well, the wood, and help anything that's kind of loose in there to fall. Because it wasn't super watery, so it probably has got a couple little spots there that if I tap, some stuff will fall down. So, all right, I got a little wire thing here. Oh yeah. That's definitely dropping it a little bit. That's good. Accomplishing what I want it to do. I'll bring you guys over here so you can look. You can already see this is the levelest. Well, this was up here was even. Another thing I didn't tell you guys to do is what I did was I took a couple of pieces of mesh, not the whole width, but just those two spots, and put it like halfway down, small strips there. What is that, like 10 inches at least wide, both of them. It was kind of something left over from this stuff that I cut, and I put it up here to the top. That way it kind of ties what's going to be down here up to this a little bit. There's going to be a little overlap, so hopefully that will help. I don't know if it's going to matter or not, but that way it's also a little bit of something in this batch that's on the outside. I'm definitely glad I did this. I don't think this is reaching all the way to the bottom, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still 6 inches off the bottom, but at least this is helping to get this to fall. Good stuff. Alright, let me play with this for a little bit. I can feel some pretty solidness down here. I think you guys are going to be pretty surprised when I show you through the top. I don't know how long to go and do this, but so besides between hitting it with that little hammer and taking this wire, I was so proud of myself that I did the right amount of cement. I can't even see it anymore. So it went down quite a ways, but at the same time, I'm still not going to add more. This will give me, I think it's probably somewhere down here, maybe about halfway. this will show me what's it going to look like. And that's going to be less weight down there. I think, you know, we talked about a little bit, doing smaller sections and letting them set up will do better than trying to do that tall of a thing, because it's just too much weight on it and it just keeps falling. So putting this form up here and banging away here and letting it fall. Now I don't know if it's still falling or not. I can't see in there anymore, so I don't know if this is necessary what I'm doing. I've accomplished what I need to do. Probably okay. Let's see what happens with this. Alright guys, next plan of attack is I've poured this and did the tile stuff or whatever, the backer board. Something I've been putting off because it's been rainy and it's still muddy as heck out there. My shoes caked in mud just walking over here, but I put the ladder up here and I'm going to caulk all the way around and do a really good job caulking. And then if I have the time, I brought trim over here, and I need to find, we have a bunch of paint over here. I have to find out which one is the white one, if we have the white one out here, and paint these and cut them. We'll see. At least I'll get the trimmed, the caulking done. Alright guys, I found the paint. I went ahead and set up over here. I'm not gonna bring the camera out here, it's so windy. I'm gonna try a different kind of paintbrush. I bought one of these cheapies at Home Depot today, knowing I just had a little bit to do. And it actually might, I have a feeling, do alright compared to the roller. Alright, you guys have seen me do this many times, but that little brush is pretty cool. I haven't used that little sponge brush before. Alright guys, I walked over here. I mean, I put the ladder up a while ago, but I'm looking down the sides and stuff, and this is up to 1 inch foam. I was going to caulk it, but this side, on this side, is got a pretty good gap. A little too much to be using caulking. So this is that stuff I used yesterday on the underneath side, and I'm just gonna put a little bit in here, and then it can dry while I'm doing the rest of the caulking part that doesn't require such a thick amount. It's a pain. I wanted to use the canister, and the straw, like I pushed the thing through the straw and it pushed out the foam. Yesterday I used this and I just blew on it to make sure everything was out, and it seemed like that worked, but this thing I'm not able to get the stuff out. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have this nail that I'm trying to push through, but it turns. So you know, it goes this way, so I can't really get into it. The only way I can go this way, but I need a smaller, very tiny nail. Alright, I was very frustrated with this, and I'm like, I'm not using this stuff anymore, because it's, every time I've used it I waste cans because I don't finish the whole thing. But I just now read the directions. It says you're supposed to do, so you have that hooked on, when you're done, I guess you go all the way over and put it on this thing, so it sits like this. And I guess that's supposed to keep it from drying out inside. I really doubt it, but I guess I'll try that next time. But I just don't know how I'm going to get this thing cleaned out and get fluid through it. We'll see. I don't know, because this was sitting with nothing on it as well. I don't know if that all dried out in there. Some stuff was coming out a while ago, but I took this nail and pushed it in there. You can see the gas stuff coming out. I don't want to jam this in there and then like have an exploded can on me. there's some stuff coming out. Ugh. Still not doing a good job. This might be a lost can. I think all the contents at the top is completely dried out, so it can't get. Oh, whoa. Well, that's fun, isn't it? Alright, 4th of July. We got all over my tractor. That sticky stuff is going to be a mess to get off. That's going to be on it for a long time. Alright, well, that's what I was afraid of. I was like, this is contents is under pressure. Alright, well, I guess we won't be using that, and we will be using caulking for all of it. I went through 1.5 of these caulkings, but actually this is not caulking. Or I was trying to see if it says caulking on it somewhere. It actually says sealant. It says it's ideal for its superior flexibility and crack proof. It's clear and premium elastic stuff, interior exterior sealant. And right here it says window, door, siding, and trim. So I assumed that was a good one, but because I didn't have the foam, there's a pretty decently wide gap here, and then underneath here is a big one. And what I'm thinking is I was going to put the trim, which I could put the trim on the sides and on the top probably, but I need to let this stuff actually dry and then come back with some more sealant or caulking, like a different one, because I don't have any more of that stuff. I bought 2 and I thought it was going to be plenty, but I didn't realize there's so much gap. So I need to let that dry out for the night, then come back tomorrow or whenever with more caulking and fill it in real smooth, and then I'll put the trim pieces on around it. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put all my tools back away that I pulled out, and go over there and finish painting that wood over there too. I can paint that trim, let it dry. 4:05 about. Hey, Happy New Year's. Tomorrow is the 1st of the new year. Basically, I did what I could today, and tomorrow we'll pick up with it. Valentina has tomorrow off, so who knows what we'll do tonight, but we hope to be out to do a little bit of something tomorrow out here on the house. And the inspector never showed up while I was here. I don't know if a inspector came and inspected before I got here on that insulation. So I called the county and had to leave a message. Nobody answered, so we'll see if we had that inspection today, if I missed it or what. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Anyway, should be back out here tomorrow, and keep on going forward on things. We'll see you the next time I'm out here. For a funny laugh, that's what happened when that foam thing went off. Covered all my tractor. It dried enough now you can just kind of pick it off. Kind of funny. I'm sure it's going to be on here for a while.